Episode 2.
Yes.
Did you guys watch the Met Gala?
Oh, how much fun that was.
I didn't watch the Met Gala.
I didn't watch it either.
I don't think anybody watched it, but we all made fun of the photographs afterwards. So luckily somebody was there to take photographs of these weirdos and put it up on the internet so that we can create memes and share it with each other and have a good old laugh.
I learn more through memes than I do through the news these days, in all honesty.
Do you know what the sad part is?
It's a freak show.
I'm at a loss for words.
Wow.
I'm at a loss for words. The Met Gala.
No, that was ridiculous.
What is the Met Gala? Do you know what the Met Gala is?
It's a gala at the Met.
I know it's in New York. It's a museum.
It's a museum.
So a bunch of rich people go to the museum and say, look how rich I am.
Basically.
And then AOC wears a dress that says, tax us.
Yeah, tax the rich.
Tax the rich. It should be tax us.
Yeah.
Because
With
a
the-
$35,000 a plate with a $100,000 dress
Yeah.
that someone put lipstick or sellotape or whatever the hell that was at the back.
Crayola.
And then, this is bravery.
Yeah, no, this is...
This is bravery. World War II, there was a bunch of guys who sat inside of U-boats, traveling towards the beaches of Normandy with their best buddies, sitting inside the U-boat. 17, 18, some of them were 16, because they were really keen to do this war. Some of them were 18, 19, a bunch of youngsters.
Yeah.
And they're heading into war. Okay, you can hear the gunshots, you can hear the mines exploding, you can see blood, you can hear the screaming, you can just see this utter chaos. You got your rifle in your hand and your chummy next to you, and you got your boots. And you got to jump off that boat and you got to go fight for freedom. But nowadays, you wear a fucking curtain on your one leg, and that makes you brave. And this is the world that we're living in.
It's bullshit.
On one hand, it's cool because we have something to make fun of, so it kind of gives us some entertainment and gives us some content to talk about.
It gives us good memes.
But on the other hand, it's absolutely terrifying.
Jeez,
It's terrifying to think that these are the elite class. This is the ruling class.
Yeah.
This is the richest of the rich. The heads of athletics, our entertainment industry, fashion. Well, fashion's always been a bit weird, a bit iffy. So, okay, we'll let them. And then politicians.
Yeah.
And they all come here. I mean, you had this one woman who's apparently someone on Congress. Nobody was sure who she really was. And she's got this ridiculous looking dress and it's saying equal rights for women. Okay? In America, what right today do men have that women don't have? But this just after they handed Afghanistan back to the Taliban, and you're coming here saying equal rights for women. Do you have any idea what those women are going through there?
Yeah. No, for sure, for those women. I mean, come on, they're being stoned, beheaded. They have no rights
horrible
there.
things. I mean, I'm a tough dude. I haven't cried since 2016 because I'm toxic. So much testosterone releases from my testes, where the word testes comes. Testes, it's a Greek term, and that testosterone travels up through my body and fills up my muscles, makes my voice deep.
It's biology. Yeah. But beneath it?
But beneath it, there's a young boy, and every 10 years or so, he has a drizz. But seriously, watching those girls sitting behind the fence and begging the soldiers to take them, saying the Taliban's coming, that I broke down a little bit. It was rough to watch that.
That is sure.
So you're wearing a dress now, trying to make out that you're so hard done by, when there's genuinely women out there who are struggling under a genuine patriarchal sort of society. But it's not politically correct to. It's hypocritical.
Yeah,
this was the ball of the hypocrites. It was the ball of the hypocrites. You're sitting there saying tax the rich, tax the rich. You don't mean the super rich. You want to tax people who own businesses, who put up risk. You must just take their money away, put it into a welfare state to give it to people who don't want to try.
Don't tax us, who's wearing the dress now. No, don't tax us.
Yeah,
tax the others.
100%. It's what the one woman, she's some actress, and she had a dress, bulletproof vest thing that said "Peg the patriarchy." I don't watch a lot of pornography. Okay, I watch a lot of pornography. I don't watch a lot of hectic pornography. I'm like mid-level sort of porn.
You're on the normal side.
Yeah, I'm on the the normal sort of stuff. Like the stepsister kind of porn. But my understanding, is that we had a friend. Remember that one guy we work with who had that girl that was a little bit wild.
Oh,
and she wanted to do things to him, and he wasn't keen. That's what pegging is. Okay, pegging, under my understanding, is A little bit of a, ooh, I wasn't expecting
Whoopee.
that. Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
Ooh, for you.
Oh, I think you should buy me supper. So she said, peg the patriarchy. And you're going, what patriarchy? Because you're not going to get in a plane. You're not going to fly all the way to the Middle East, get out of the plane and tune news guys. Peg the patriarchy.
Yeah, no.
Because you're going to last 3 seconds. Does
Well,
nobody
yeah, stop
remember
off.
just after 9/11
Ooh.
how many journalists those people took and cut their heads off
Yeah.
in front of their families?
Yes.
You don't mess with those guys. Well, you do mess with them. You send the manly, toxic men who've been militarily trained, give them big ass guns, and you send them in there.
Yeah.
And they sort it out. But we've digressed horribly. The Met Gala was
The Met Gala. Let's go back.
But we had dudes wearing dresses, which is now normal.
It's not a normal thing.
This is supposed to be normal. This is what gets me about the world. This is what I don't understand. Is it surely I don't know, when you're watching the news or you're watching what CNN is putting out there, like I get this gut feeling. And that's kind of what started me on this road of questioning that's made me the radical that I am today. Because apparently I'm radical. I think I'm just a run-of-the-mill,
Normal
old-school liberal. Like. But when you watch this stuff, there's a little thing inside you that says, this doesn't feel right.
Something's wrong.
Something is broken here. Something just doesn't feel right.
Listen, I understand some people's views and some things of when you say you don't feel like you're in the right body you are. You know what? All goes to you, but how they're pushing it down everyone's throats, and like you get mothers or parents that's forcing their kids now to take pills to change gender and to stop their hormones and
Well, they want to chemically castrate children.
yeah, how
At least give the
These-
child an option.
No. What they're doing here is they're doing this to 4 and 5 year olds. So in the school system, they've got them going in there and they're teaching them, oh, it's okay if you want to wear a dress. It's okay if you want to play with a Barbie doll. Mommy might want to get some Instagram followers. So mommy
Yeah.
might be saying, listen, wear this dress because you're a girl, you're a girl, you're a girl. Now, children just want to please their parents. I mean, my kid
yeah.
would do anything to please me. So it's a little bit predatory to do
Yes.
this type of stuff. But then all of a sudden, when the kid does it to please mommy and wears the dress, then immediately they say, you just have to pick up a Barbie once. This is why I'm so terrified of like moving to Canada. Because if my kid picks up a Barbie once, that school's going to call us in and say, listen, your kid is trans. He's made the decision. And
It's done.
we're now going to chemically castrate this kid, or we're going to put them on hormone blockers, or we're going to do something like
Yes.
that. Okay, you're not allowed to make the decision to drink officially in that side of the world until you're 21. Over here, where we're civilized, we can drink at 18.
At other places you can be 16 and go buck wild.
Well, no, I think universally we're all drinking at 16. Okay, but it's like when you're allowed to start drinking.
Yeah.
Okay. But you're not allowed officially to make the decision to drink alcohol until you're 18 or 21.
Yes.
You're not allowed to get it on. You're not allowed to have intercourse with another consenting individual until about 16. Hey?
Yes.
Most countries 16.
Yes.
All right. Here you're not allowed to drive a car until you're 18. America, you're not allowed to drive a car until you're 16.
Yes.
So let's say 16. How can a 4-year-old decide
Exactly that
that it
he's
wants to
now-
have its testicles removed or something like that? How can a 4-year-old now be given that
No.
decision? Now, there are people in the world that do struggle from this
Yes.
sort of problem. I don't know what to call it. They have this situation.
They
It used
have-
to be
yeah.
considered, it used to be classed a medical, it used to be a medical sort of mental.
Yes, it used to be seen as a mental problem.
Now it's seen as a kink. I'm almost getting the fact that this has now become
This
like a
is-
kink or
yeah.
a sexuality or something weird.
Yes.
You know, it's like liking feet. It's kind of like this now. Because it's just gone weird because there's people now that are saying like clown is a gender. Like a clown is a gender. You know, I'm pretty
No.
easygoing. I'm pretty cool with people's
Yeah.
idea, but please don't come and tell me that clown is a gender, and I must sit with a straight face and like go, okay, cool, clown person, because I'm not allowed to say he or they, or I've now got to call you it or zapper or something silly. And you know, there's countries in the world that if you don't do that, you're going to go to jail.
Go to jail. You get
In the
fined,
UK, we're like
you
getting
know.
there now. If you say something, it's now considered a hate crime.
Yeah.
It's insanity.
No.
It's just insanity. It's now a hate crime.
But the
I don't
thing
know
is
how much
it's-
of this we're going to be able to keep.
Yeah, we'll see.
All of it.
But it's also now so many people are taking advantage of this because they know they can sue you now if you don't call them the right name. Now they're using all of these kind of things.
Who would
to
hire
win.
someone? You own a business,
Yeah.
and someone comes in with their blue hair and their thick rimmed glasses and their septum ring. You know, because someone who in modern society who is trans is like a vegan. You'll know it because they're going to tell you every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Seriously, you see the
Yeah.
guys on Twitter, and then you get into an argument. They're like, "Oh well, me as a bi person," and I'm going, "Oh, okay. Does that mean you win the argument now because you've deemed yourself bi?" You know, it's like me being bi, but I just prefer women. But I want to say bi so that I can be part of the intersectional gang, so that I'm not considered a white dude because white dudes are the bad guys. So I'll just now say I'm bi. But I like,
you prefer
but I just
women.
shag women most of the time. And when no one's looking, like no one has a camera, then I like shag guys who nobody knows and will never ever tell anyone about it. This is the world we're living in.
Yeah.
It's like, it's crazy. It's just the hypocrisy. I mean, every time you look at the news, everybody's lying all the time. Like
Yes.
bald-faced lying. The story will change from yesterday to today. It'll be a 360 change and nobody notices it. Nobody notices that newscasters are sitting there. I mean, in the old days, it was opinion pieces.
Yes.
You'd get these guys who would come on and they'd say their opinion.
Yes.
But there wasn't necessarily the news. Okay, there wasn't fact check. It's just someone coming saying, I think this.
Yes.
Okay, so that's always been around. Nowadays, it's the main segment, the news, coming out, looking to the camera and lying.
Yeah.
Flat out lying.
Straight face. There you
And
go.
and most people looking at how California have just thrown their future away.
Yeah.
California, literally the land of poo and hypodermic needles, have now decided, let's just carry on down this road. We'll just keep going because it's been so great. It's been awesome. I mean, we're watching the rest of the world. We're miles away. No, hundreds of thousands of
Oh,
kilometers, different continent. We're sitting here in lovely, lovely 30-degree weather,
Yes.
watching you guys and we're in a third world country.
Yeah.
I'm going like, oh, we're lucky to be here. At least we're not in California. Oh my God, imagine if we were in like San Francisco, guys.
Jeez.
And they went from like in the 90s. How old were you in the 90s?
I was still very young.
See, in the 90s, we used to watch TV. It was like boom, boom. It was Full House. That was
Yeah.
in San Francisco, right, with the steep hills, like where you don't go skateboarding because the roads are like.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I was there for
Now
a
you don't go
while, and it
skateboarding
is-
now because
oh.
someone's going to mug you and shit on you and stab you with a needle. I watched this video where they're just walking around like filming these it's homeless people, but they're very, very bad drug addicts.
Oh,
So
no,
these guys
yes.
are, I don't know what this fentanyl is. I'm always hearing about this fentanyl. I've never heard of fentanyl here, but I'm assuming it's fentanyl
Something
or some
bad.
kind of stuff. But these guys are like zombies, like walking the streets. You know, Last of Us, the good one, the first one. You know, the clickers, and they're like, and these guys literally move like that, and they're like clickers, and it's the most
Shang,
terrifying
yeah.
thing. And the whole street is just like full of these homeless dudes doing this sort of stuff. So they've got, I mean, these people have problems.
No, of course.
You know, they need help.
Yeah.
They do need help. And I think what they did there is, according to what I've read, is they got rid of all the bylaws. So the bylaws, that meant that if you got caught shooting heroin on the street, well, the cop would come and say, hey, you can't shoot heroin on the street, and they'd go and put you in jail. Sounds reasonable to me. You know what I mean? Sounds reasonable to me. But then they kind of went, oh, well, it's not their fault because they're not the ones selling the drugs. They're just the one using it. And then all of a sudden it was, well, it disproportionately affects certain members of the community more than others. And it became political.
Oh.
And then they said, okay, let's just leave it. Shame these people, shame, just leave them. And now you walk down the street and everyone's just
There's
shooting
just
up heroin.
everywhere.
People are pooing, like in the middle of the street.
Oh no.
They're just pooing. In the
Just
middle of the
going at
street.
it.
Okay, guys, Californians, if any of you are listening there, any of you who are not totally brainwashed, because you're probably raging on Twitter right now if you're listening to this show and you live in California.
Yeah, I don't think you're big fans, eh? But hi.
Come to Africa, dude. We don't poo in the street.
No,
We don't poo in the street.
no,
have
I
standards?
haven't seen it. No.
We do. I mean, we've got some poor areas. We're poor as well, you know. There's,
Yeah, but they're not shitting in the street.
but yeah, we make toilets, you know. We
We
make
have some
do.
trash here and there.
Yeah, we have
But
long drops. They're called here. It's a bush toilet where you dig a hole and you make a tin take an empty, paint tin and you put that over the hole, and you kind of put some leaves over the paint tin so you don't cut yourself, and then you do that.
Or you just dig a hole, go for it, and close it.
Yeah, you could do that.
You can do that if
You
you
could
can't
do
find
that,
it.
but it depends. I mean, Americans can't really squat because they're all overweight.
They just sit.
I'm only joking, man. I'm only joking. We love you guys. Florida's looking pretty good, though.
They're looking good.
I like Florida. I want to go to Florida or America.
Florida.
Have you seen what they're trying to do now? All of a sudden, now Ron DeSantis, they're like, he's just as crazy as Donald Trump. He's just as. We thought Donald Trump was crazy. You should see Ron DeSantis because they know he's looking pretty good.
He's looking good at the moment, so now they want to.
I mean, Joe Biden's, and rightfully bloody so. His approval ratings have dipped quite low, and look, I think Donald Trump, I think, was a good president. I know he didn't say some stuff on the tweets. I know we all think different things, but I've done a lot of reading on his policies and that. Whenever I think about a president, you sit there and say, okay, I don't care what you do in your personal life. Let me look at the policies you do and how that affects my life. Would I have a better life with that policy or that policy? And his policies were better, right? All the way around.
Yes.
I don't care how much he tweets, and if he's a millionaire, and if he was with a stripper, I don't give a crap. It doesn't have
And
anything to do.
everyone loved him before he became
But
president.
because he pissed off so many people, they made him out like he was
This
a
bad
fascist.
orange man.
It was. Well, the way the media treated him was ridiculous. It
Yes.
was ridiculous. It was always, anonymous sources leaked this big thing, and he
Yes.
said this and he did that. But it was, you never go on the news, in primetime news, and say, this is fact based on an anonymous source. You don't get a phone call saying, oh, how's it? The Heretic has just murdered a whole school of children. Who's speaking? I'm not going to tell you. Where did you see this happen? I'm not telling you. Oh, okay, I'll just report it on the news and put it on the fucking front
Trust me,
page.
bro.
Yeah, just trust me.
I mean, who was it? Who stood there when the first time they impeached him, and he held up the file and he's like, I have in my hands the downfall. And fuck all ever came of
And
it.
then nothing
Like, they
else.
couldn't stick because they didn't have anything. It was all about the show.
Yes.
And it worked like a charm
Yes.
because he lost the election.
Yes.
And the whole world hates the guy. I often get into arguments, with people, and I sit there and say, when they say he's an evil man and I hate him, and I say, well, what don't you like about him? No, but he's just a racist. And it's like,
he's
but
an
what
idiot.
specifically, what specifically did he do? Nobody knows.
Nobody can answer
Nobody
that,
knows why.
no.
They just know that everyone at the Oscars, when they accepted the statue, said the guy was a dickhead.
Yeah.
And everybody wearing a suit on the Pick a News channel said that he's a dickhead. So
Yes.
that was it. So even me, like, where we live, we don't know anything about overseas politics. So I was like, geez, America's really stuffed. They're going to go down the toilet. They've got like a fascist
this is
dictator.
done.
Because Netflix told me that was the case. I was just like, this is insane. How could... I mean, we all laughed when he became president.
Yeah, come
it was
on.
silly because it was like the guy
this-
from The Apprentice. So it was silly.
Dude, The Simpsons predicted it. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
what? A cartoon?
Yeah,
It's
so it
coming
was
to
weird.
life?
But
Yeah.
then they started reporting. So then you start looking at the reporting, and this is what I keep
Yes.
saying. When you're watching the news and you say, it doesn't sound right. I mean, that
Yeah.
doesn't feel right. That doesn't sound right.
Something's not okay.
And then what a reasonable individual would do is then go and kind of look into it. So what I started doing is when they started saying that he said this in this speech and this is what he did, is go and watch the entire speech without the commentary and without the
Yeah.
pausing, without the fact checks, and you can see what was said with your own eyes because you're not a dumbass, right?
Yeah.
You're not an idiot. You don't have to have a degree to know what you're seeing.
Yeah.
I see an ostrich running. Don't tell me that is a penguin because I can see that is an ostrich. And I think that's where we're living in a world now where everybody's looking at the ostrich, but the elites are telling you that it's a penguin.
Yes.
But we've got so many people going, okay, all right, okay, I guess it's a penguin. It must be a penguin.
be a penguin.
But anyone who now says it's an ostrich is now a fascist, and we need to shut them off. We basically need to kill these people, take away their
Yes.
jobs and ruin their lives.
Yeah,
And
it's over.
it's not going to end well. It's not going to end well. We're sitting here in another continent, and all this crap is happening over there, but it's going to start trickling over and affecting us. It's now infected the UK. The BBC is unwatchable at the moment. Australia, look at the crap that's happening on Australia. On one of the groups, one of my nerdy groups I was speaking to an Australian today. Those guys are They're having a hard time. So you can see that the crap that happens there, because it's such a cultural hub for all Western sort of style countries, that kind of crap spreads.
Yeah. The ripple effect.
It's not going to end well. I don't know. I don't know where this is going, guys. I don't know where the tide is going to turn. It's really, really frustrating. So I think there's a couple of things, and I always go to the most extreme, because you've got to try and imagine the most extreme situation that we could end up in as a world at the moment. And think about some of the really extreme sort of conspiracy theories that have come out now, especially around like the coof and all of this little pandemic and all of that sort of stuff. And people would say things like, we're going to need to have a vaccine passport. Don't be stupid. These conspiracy theories, vaccine passports. And what's going to happen? It all started early where they go, no, the vaccine's going to give you the chip and the lizard people and all these real crazies. But it's not too far to think that what happens now, 6 months from now, when people who don't want to get vaccinated start printing fake vaccine passports, and then they're all on the news saying, it's a pandemic, a fake vaccine passport. The only way we're really going to know is with a microchip under the skin.
It's already started. China's already printed how many fake ones? It's already out. They're like,
It sounds crazy, and I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but crazy shit's been happening the last 2 years. It could. But anyway, back to the way the world's going to go. There's only two ways. There's one, I think maybe America or the world is going to end up reshuffling itself, and maybe amicably. Maybe America just says, look, we can't live together. They can't live together, these guys.
Yeah.
They just cannot find any middle ground. It is insane.
It's struggling, yeah.
They're very ununited for the United States.
The ununited, and they keep talking about unity, and then Joe Biden comes out and he comes out to talk about unity, and then he's divisive. And it's just like, you just can't help yourself, can you?
No.
You just can't help yourself. I saw this meme that I shared the other day, and it had a king who's looking over. He's sitting in his castle, and he's looking over, and all the people are standing there with pitchforks and with torches, and they're ready to kill him. And his advisor says, you don't have to fight them, sire. All you have to do is convince the people with the torches that the people with the pitchforks want to take their torches.
Yes.
And you're going, that's exactly what's happening now, is this othering, is splitting everybody up and getting this person to fight that person, because none of us are then watching those idiots at the Met destroy society.
Yeah.
So we're all too busy fighting with each other not to see what the big boys are doing.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it doesn't look like we're going to sort this out. It doesn't look like it. So two things are going to happen. One, amicably, guys, secede. We're going to split into two countries. You guys can keep California. We'll have Texas, and
Florida.
I'm saying us, maybe we'll get a green card then. I'll try.
Hopefully.
You can take part of Canada, and you'll be like blue states, and we'll be the red, and it'll be two different countries.
Yes.
Trump can come and he can build his wall down the middle. There we go. You've got all the leftover bricks. We'll split them down the middle, and then hopefully nobody ever talks to each other again.
Yeah, just leave one another alone.
Okay?
Yeah, simple fact.
Or, fact number two, this gets worse and worse and worse. We saw a lot of riots last year, so we can see it starting to get violent.
Yes.
And that violent will get worse and worse and worse to the point that Joe pushes it a little bit too far. And then the Second Amendment, people say that's it. Picking up arms, guerrilla warfare, not that idiot that threw eggs at Larry Elder. And then you've got a full-on civil war that could become a world war, because, the next thing France jumps in and say, well, we don't want to be woke. We're going to sit with Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis. And then the UK come in and be, we like woke. We want to be woke. We're going to sit here with old Joe. And Joe's going to be like, hey, man, where am I? And then the whole world's clapping each other. Yeah. And that's scary, because, I've got young kids. It's scary to see that society had, since World War II, we'd gotten ourselves to a place where we were all kind of getting along.
Yeah.
Where it really was this non-racial society where everybody was mixing and getting on well, enjoying each other's music. And then for some reason now we've gone back 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's on everything now. Now it's not just about the pigment of your skin. It's now who you like to bonk in your spare time. We're going to fight with each other because, I like to bonk one person, because I'm old school. I have a wife that I like to be with, and that's it.
Yes.
And I'm happy to do that for the rest of my life. And somehow that makes me a bigot now, because you get someone. I've got 14 boyfriends and 3 girlfriends, and there's some kind of relationship, and it's just debauchery. I understand that you want to live some kind of alternate lifestyle, but
Yes.
you know you're not happy. You know deep down you're not happy because you keep looking for
No.
validation and you're so
Yes.
angry. Everybody is so angry.
Everyone is angry,
So don't
yes.
tell me that you're happy with your lifestyles because you're not happy because you're shouting at me all the time and I'm pretty happy.
You get angry at me for just being me for what I'm doing. When we're saying we're straight, no, you can't be straight. That's such a thing. It's like, you're super straight now. No, you can't be super straight out there.
Look, we all got to a point in the
Yeah.
90s. I know the 80s was rough to be gay, but we'd all gotten in a point in the 90s where we'd all kind of went, okay, some people are gay, cool.
that's
I mean,
fine.
but then, you know, I read an art, they started all this crap now with they're doing this new Lord of the Rings series. It's going to be an absolute disaster.
No.
But one of the sites that sort of keeps the law going, they do a lot of articles and a lot of blogs about it, theonering.com. Is it theonering.com or onering.net? But one of them went woke. I can't remember which one. I think it's theonering.net.
I think net, maybe.
If I'm wrong, guys, just I'll release a retraction, but
Yeah.
one of those guys. And they came out and they started going on about how Sir Ian McKellen, who played Gandalf,
Yes.
how he was how they gave him so much trouble, you know, how he received so much flack because he was a homosexual man. Let me tell you, I'm a big fan.
Oh, we're big Lord of the Rings fans.
Not anywhere on any forum, in any club, in any meeting, in any private conversation, on any WhatsApp group, Facebook
Nothing.
group, Instagram group, YouTube video, have I ever seen anybody complain that Ian McKellen played Gandalf because he was the way he is.
No.
He was phenomenal. We love him.
He's amazing.
I don't care
Yes.
what you do when you go home. That is your business. You can come to my house and you can have a braai. We can have a couple of dops and a beer and a laugh and a joke. We'll sit and we'll watch Lord of the Rings together. You can put your head on my shoulder and we'll laugh. I don't give a shit what you do when you go home.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem. And that's where society had gotten to, where we didn't have a problem. We didn't have a problem.
No, we
I
didn't.
mean, shows like Will and Grace were
Oh, it
top
was
of the pops.
so
Everybody loved those
funny.
shows. Everybody
Yeah.
enjoyed those shows. But then, but now we're sitting in this situation now where that wasn't enough, and now all of a sudden now women and men are not allowed to be different. And what are you?
Everything
Because
is
you're not a
so
woman
expensive.
anymore.
Yeah,
Now you're a lactating, menstruating individual.
I'm a what? A life carrier? Or
You're
I
what
don't
are
know.
you? You're a breastfeeding person. A chest feeder. Sorry, you can't even say breast. It's
Oh
a
no,
chest
you're not
feeder.
allowed. Yeah, we're not allowed to say breasts.
What
Breast,
happens
breast,
because
breast.
in the Academy Awards in 5 years' time, when there's, well, I don't know, 2 people watch it. So one guy at Fox and one guy at CNN will watch it. Those will be the only 2 guys who watch it, and then they'll post on their news channels because nobody's going to watch the Oscars.
No.
Who
no
watches
one.
that shit?
Nope.
But then they're going to sit there and say, okay, well, for the category of best individual thing that was in a movie, we call lactating member 73152 to the stage. Please do not make a speech as you may potentially offend someone.
Yeah. Just don't say anything at all.
And as of 2025, we have cancelled comedies altogether.
Yes.
That's kind
Jokes are offensive.
of all jokes are
All
offensive.
jokes. You're not allowed.
All jokes are offensive.
You go straight to jail.
Everything you go to jail. on.
Everything's offensive.
So I guess the reason we're here talking is because you're sane, right? I think you're sane. You're
Think
pretty
so.
sane. You're pretty sane. I
think
feel
so.
like I'm sane. I feel
Maybe.
like I'm taking crazy pills.
It
And I've got
does.
people who shout at me all day online, shouting at me, making me feel like I'm the crazy one.
Yeah, it is. It's like, what's happening?
They call it
to
gaslighting, but I do sometimes go like, am I?
Am I
But
the
I'm-
one that's
but I-
wrong?
I know that's an ostrich. It's not a penguin. It's an ostrich. And I'm wondering if there's other people out there. So if you're watching this and you're relatively a reasonable individual, why not click the little subscribe button? I got to do it. Click the little subscribe button and the little like thing, and maybe leave us a little comment there, because apparently the more interaction you guys give us, the more the algorithm likes us.
Yes.
I doubt the algorithm is going to like us based on what we're talking about.
Yeah, let's face it. They're not gonna
But we're just
like
going to
us.
keep doing it because
We enjoy
we're under
it.
lockdown.
Why
So
not?
we're not doing this for fame or fortune or money. We're just going to sit and talk. And if you guys want to join us, then come on over.
Yeah, it'd be fun to hear your guys' thoughts also, to see if we are insane or not.
You know what's weird is that this is a pop culture podcast.
This is just a podcast.
We
now?
haven't even started. Yeah, it's just a podcast.
It's just a podcast.
This is just 3 people, living beings. I don't know, just enjoying our company and talking.
Going back to Lord of the Rings.
I am an ejaculation. Yes. I am a testicled individual. We haven't actually seen any, like, it's always for women, it's always like chest person and
Yeah,
all
it's
that. But
always
we've never
women
seen
issues.
what we call the dudes now, like, are you a testicled menstruator? Like, it's quite enjoyable to see these. I mean, AOC gave a speech the other day and she got herself so tongue-tied because she was like, oh crap.
I can't. No.
You know, it's not unique to humanity being dimorphic. Dimorphic meaning that there's 2 different parts and they're both different.
Yeah.
Every species does that. There's some species that are asexual that, in essence, actually make clones of themselves. They
Yes.
don't need to mate, so they actually make an exact duplicate of themselves, which is pretty interesting. But that's not us. We are dimorphic. You need to have the male and the female, and the male gives a little something to the female, and the female then houses another little something that comes out, and then that little something is either one or the other.
Yeah.
And occasionally, someone does come out that is a little bit confused or feels that they have been put in the wrong body, and
Yes.
that must be a horrible feeling. I can definitely understand. I don't want to kill you because the general fact here seems to be that everybody wants to kill people who feels like there's like they go, oh, it's genocide. That we had that MMA fighter
Oh, yeah.
that beat the living snot out of that girl and then sat there with a shirt that said "Stop Genocide," and you're going, but nobody,
Nobody
not here,
is,
potentially Middle East.
Yeah, those places. Yeah.
Maybe north. I mean, down here in the south of Africa, you're pretty fine. But you go up north, Central Africa, you might not be
Where
so
they
good.
will put you to jail if you're gay and all those kind
Yeah,
of
but
things.
I say in the majority of the Western world, guys,
No, it's-
maybe you're gonna have pockets of extreme horrible people out there.
Yes.
I mean, they say, oh, the KKK. They do exist.
They're still here.
Yes,
They're still here.
They're still there. There's like 8 of them, and they all get together, and then they call themselves wizards.
With their
Gandalf.
white robes.
I think Gandalf is a real wizard. Okay, these guys are just palookas.
Yeah.
But if you'd listen to the news, you would think that like the whole of America all put their freaking white hoodies on and went
and
out
they're
in the
going
weekend,
after
and it's
these
just
people.
not the case. It's just not the case.
They make it sound like they're on a witch hunt, that they're going after everyone and killing them. And no,
Yeah.
it's
not the case.
It's not at all.
There are bad people in the world.
Oh no, for sure there
But
are.
there's bad throughout history. There's
Yeah.
been bad people. There's been horrible people. At some point, we've all been under Roman rule. Do the Italians owe us anything? Actually, I'm going to look into that.
Yeah, like hold on.
Well, we do know that
Yes.
the ancient Celtic tribes were taken over by the Saxons to become the Anglo-Saxons, who then oppressed the other Saxon tribe, the other tribe, the
Yeah.
other Saxon. I'm getting my shit confused. The other Celtic tribe. So basically, the Scots and the Welsh and the Irish.
Yeah.
The English then oppressed them and took away their fiefdom and their lands and said, "Oh no, you'll now live under us, you fuckers." Okay, so they were pretty badly oppressed.
Yes.
Mongolia,
Oh yeah.
they oppressed the Oaks. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not doing the South Park. I'm not
No,
doing
we're
it.
not.
It's not in today's climate. Who else? Everyone's had a go. The Egyptians had a go. They went up into Middle East and they got... there's a book. It's quite a good book. It's called The Bible. I don't know if anyone's read it. Where it does go into quite a bit of detail. There's a chap named Moses who was like, hey, Egypt, that's not such a nice thing to do. Could you kindly stop oppressing my people? And the Pharaoh said, fuck you. And there's a good Metallica song that'll tell you the story about it called Creeping Death, which I love my religious music. So Creeping Death is my favorite Christian song about what happened to ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
But there's been horrible people and horrible cultures and horrible shit throughout the world, throughout history. We've been horrible to each other. But we kind of got to a place where we'd stopped being horrible to each other.
Yes.
But now we're being horrible to each other
Again,
again.
it's like we're going in a loop again.
You know, it's like 2 children being born today now. It's all of a sudden the one child owes the other child something because of something that dead people did. And it just doesn't make sense.
No.
I mean, here in South Africa, it's a little bit difficult because it's so bloody recent.
Yes.
But
It's
to
so
put it into
close.
context, you guys are born free, eh? When were you born?
Yeah, we're born free. Yeah.
You're born free, okay? I was I was 94. I think I was maybe in first grade when apartheid ended. So I was very, very young. You know what I mean? But my children had nothing to do with it.
Yes.
And they shouldn't be given the blame for anything.
Yes.
And it works on
But
anyone
even
else. I
you-
mean, an Egyptian born today should not be given the guilt of what the Egyptians did to the Jews.
Yes.
A German born today shouldn't be given the guilt of what the Nazis did. And that was also fairly recent history. Do you
And
understand?
that was also big.
Is it generations born now should
No,
read about the
yes.
past, see the shit that happened. Like Gina Carano actually pointed, she lost her job because she pointed out, here's something that happened in history. A similar thing is happening now. The only reason she said it is to say, we
Look at
could
the
end,
connection.
look how it ended.
Yeah.
We don't want to end up like
Yes.
that. And everybody lost their shit and they lost, they didn't see the point. They kind of took it as an anti-Semitic thing, which it really wasn't.
No.
And I guess her point was just saying that we can't carry on this way, guys, because World War III is not going to be good because we've now got nukes.
Oh no, stuff is
Everybody's
hectic now,
got
yes.
nuked. I know Barack Obama paid a crap load of money to Iran to not build nukes for 10 years. They said, listen, we'll give you a shitload of money. Please
stop.
don't build nukes for 10 years. They went, sure, no problem.
And then they start
I think that they probably still built nukes. I don't know.
I don't trust them.
I'm just
I was
saying.
I don't trust them.
They tell someone not to do something, and of course they just.
That's it.
That's not
Like
what-
someone says, don't get a cookie out of the jar. Don't take the cookie out of the jar. I'll give you a sweetie if you don't take the cookie out the jar. The chances I'm going to take a cookie out the jar. It depends how full it is. If I'm like, she's not going to notice. Don't leave any crumbs. Then you get a cookie and a sweet. So it's
Exactly,
possible.
yeah.
I don't know anything. I don't live in Iran. I've never met an Iranian.
No.
But maybe they got their cookie and their sweet.
Maybe they
So-
got it to fund the cookie.
So let's not start World War III.
No. And with the drones and everything, with how technology is.
Drone
Oh,
technology,
no,
which the Taliban
yes.
now have, yeah. Because
Exactly.
America left, they left all
They
the
left everything just
tanks,
there.
Apache helicopters, all of their drone technology.
Oh, no, dude.
I mean, they could sell that off to China or Russia or any other country where they'll reverse engineer it, build a cheaper version, make it in Hong Kong,
There you go.
and that's the
No,
world.
dude, that's scary. That's really a scary thought. Oh, no.
I suppose we're okay. Nobody wants to cause trouble with us.
Nobody really wants to
Yet.
bring us in
We're
to come help.
we're just gonna
We're just going to sit back.
we're gonna hang around here for a little bit just to see how things turn out before we get our green card applications in. But I mean, I don't know if we need a green card. I think we just fly to Mexico and we walk in.
That'll
What,
work.
climb the wall?
There's no wall anymore. Joe Biden, like day one, took everything out. He undid everything except for the whole freaking pulling out of Afghanistan. I love that thing. On day one, he pulls into office. He comes in, a stack of executive orders as high as the Heretic. The Heretic is 8 foot tall. He's a tall dude. And he signed every single one of them, literally undoing everything that Donald Trump had ever
Yeah.
done. And then this pull out of Afghanistan fucks out completely. And he goes, oh, it was Donald Trump's fault. It's like, but you could have just on day one signed that one. Did you run out of ink? Did you I ran out of paper?
Oh, no, ink is gone. Oh,
Dog first pony soldier. Where the fuck am I? How did I get you?
What am I doing? Where am I? What is this? Who are you?
Lots of countries have nukes. Do we have nukes?
No,
I know we got Pelindaba, which is like a nuclear power plant.
but I think that's about how far
No,
it
it's a
goes.
research centre, that one.
Oh.
The one in the northwest.
Yeah, they're by Hardepost.
I think it's a research. facility.
Yeah, I think so.
There's
Yeah, I don't.
nuclear material there, but it's
Oh.
more of
But
a
I don't
research.
think we have anything that
Only
gonna-
Coburg is.
We were going to build a whole bunch.
we were.
It would have made sense because it is the cleanest. But the problem is the person who was
Who's
sorting
in
the
it?
deal
Yeah.
out. Okay, we don't talk local politics
Let's
on
not
this
go
channel.
there.
We only talk American
We want
politics.
to live.
We only talk American politics because if anyone from California wants to come here first, they've got to find us. It's going to cost them a fair bit of money. And then when they get here, they might go on safari instead of look for us.
Distractions.
We'll give them a bribe.
Yeah.
They can find us, and yeah.
And if you do find us, you're on our turf, motherfucker.
Yeah. We're like your kind around here.
We don't take kindly to your tops around these parts. But if you live in Florida or Texas, come on down. Come have a steak with us.
If you
Steaks are
guys
cheap
wanna
here,
come
guys. You
visit.
could live in South Africa and have steak every single day of the week. I had steak like 3 times this week. Big ass sirloin,
Oh, but it is
baked
so
potato, broccoli salad with bacon.
Yeah, you can.
And I'm like
that.
lower middle class, and that's how we chow. We chow
Yeah,
that.
we chow big guy. That is for sure. We're in Texas, they vibe, must say.
Yeah, Texans eat a lot of steak, eh?
Yeah.
But I think everywhere else in America is quite expensive. I know in the UK, like when my parents moved here, they're from the UK.
Yeah.
When they came here in the 70s, it was like the first time they ever had a steak. Because you don't really eat steak there. It's like
Bangers and
really,
mash.
really expensive. Yeah, you can have
Yeah.
like bangers and mash or like mutton, not even
Yeah.
lamb, like mutton.
It's mutton.
And then they made like meatballs out of offal, and they'd have that with peas. The one thing they ate is black pudding. I like black pudding, which is literally just like congealed pig's blood, and they bake in the sausage, cut it up, and then you fry it until it goes crispy, and you have that with your breakfast. Now, I grew up eating it, but I never knew what it was. I was already a man. You know what I mean? I didn't see the light until I was already a man.
Here's a blood sausage for you.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh well.
Oh, too late now.
Yeah, you know, like snails, when you have escargot, which we just in South Africa is called garlic snails.
Yeah.
I had garlic snails thinking that it's not really snails, they just call it snails. And then they were like, it really is
It
snails.
is really
And then I was
snail.
like, fuck, what is monkey gland sauce?
Oh, monkey gland.
Do you remember
sauce.
monkey gland sauce? You don't see it anymore.
Oh, that was so
No, it's
good.
off the menu, no? It's not there.
It wasn't.
It's gone.
It wasn't made with monkey gland. It was like
Oh.
basically like a barbecue
yeah.
chutney sort of
It's,
vibe.
yeah, a very
Just-
sweet sauce.
We got to bring it back.
Oh, dude.
I think.
Why
Okay,
did you bring
here's the
that
plan.
down?
Here's the plan. We go to Mexico. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
We drink
yeah.
cerveza. We eat nachos.
Yeah.
We fiesta.
Yes.
We salsa.
Yes.
Then, all right, over the river, past the marshals, into the States. Okay, where we should be like Albuquerque. Huh? That should bring us to Albuquerque, right? We need to find a teacher. Okay, a teacher who's sick, but who knows how to make crystal blue meth. Okay.
I like where this
Okay, yeah. I'm with you.
Okay, no, scratch that. Yeah, that didn't end well either.
Yeah, the ending was not.
Yeah, Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's kind of like where's Texas from New Mexico? It's got to be around about there. It's hot.
Is that how you? It's hot.
It's
It
gotta
must
hot.
be there.
I know hot like Alabama, then Texas, and then you start going like up towards New York-y sort of style.
New York is,
And then you
way
kind of get
there.
Florida where it
Texas.
starts to get hot and swampy because there's like gators and
Gator.
and frogs
gator.
and they eat frogs and stuff. The
Frog
what is it?
legs.
Barbecue pit bull, barbecue
Barbecue.
pit boys. Where they have like stuffed frogs inside a stuffed gator and stuff. And like, damn, that actually looks pretty good. I like these guys. So then it gets swampy, and then from the swampy it goes up to like New York, which is
And
just
it's
rainy. So it's like
cold
rainy and coasty.
Yeah.
And then a little bit further up is Maine.
And it gets cold because it's close to
And then
Canada
in
now.
Maine, there's like St. Bernards that'll kill you, and freaking kids that come back from the dead, and clowns, and the fucking Stephen King. All
Yeah,
the
I
stories
know.
in Maine.
But Maine is beautiful, eh? Maine is really pretty.
I've heard the rain in
Sure.
Maine falls mainly on the plane.
Okay, sweetie.
you're the only one who's ever. I've never been to the States. My wife has been. She went to New York for like half a second, so they saw the Statue of Liberty, but far off in the distance, it's like a little speck. She was like, "Oh, that sucks." And they had jet lag.
Oh.
I was like, "Did you have like New York style pizza?" No. I'm like, "Come on." Did you watch like a baseball game? No. They were there for like 3 weeks. Then watch a baseball game, then watch a football game. I want to go. I have no fucking idea what's going on, but I'll just sit there and like whoever I'm sitting with, if it's like mostly like blue shirts, and I'll be like, "Hey, whatever these guys are," because I want to get fucked up.
Yeah, just join the vibe.
It is so fun.
Yeah.
The vibe in the stadiums, from basketball to baseball to football, it is so much fun.
I think
know
I'm doing well
went-
with football now because did you see that clip where they're all going, "Fuck Joe Biden"? Do.
No, I missed that.
You just watch it.
What?
Yeah, and that's why CNN is now then Dr. Fauci the next day saying, "I don't think it's a very good idea that so many people are together in the stadium,
Oh.
even if they're vaccinated."
Of
And it's like,
course.
yeah, because you're all saying F Joe Biden, he's paying your freaking bills, you dick. Let's all trust the guy. Okay, isn't he like the highest paid government official, like at the moment for like the last 2 years? Is it not in his best interest to make sure that there's a pandemic so that he maintains that status of being the highest paid government official? Because the moment there is no pandemic, he is no longer the highest paid government official. And he just has to be a regular doctor. Then he's got to go back to the room saying, like, what's wrong? Oh, well, I got diarrhea, and my glands are swollen, and my nose is scratchy. And he's back to that shit. And he's like, oh, I used to be on TV. The whole world used to listen to me. I was like, wear 2 masks, and everyone wore 2 masks. I was like, wear 1 mask on your butt and 1 mask on your ear. Everybody listened to it. CNN said I was cool. Who was that other guy who does the talk show? He was dancing around the street. He made a song about... I hate that guy so much. What's his name? Jeff Corbyn. Is it Jeff Corbyn?
Is it Jeff?
He's like a British... James Corbyn.
James.
Sorry, Jeff Corbyn. Sorry,
James,
dude, I don't know
James
you.
Corden?
James Corden. That guy, he did some
he's
voiceovers.
like
He was
traffic
like...
and-
He was in the Troll movie, and he was the bunny rabbit in the Peter Rabbit. And he just gets on my nerves.
But he gets
I don't
on
know
many
you. I mean, I don't
people's
hate you. I don't fucking know you. But
Yeah.
like, you bloody well get on my nerves. I'm sure I'm getting on your nerves if you're listening. Like, you'd really like he's listening. Because we've got like 4
But-
subscribers, and I think we've ascertained that I think you might have subscribed and I might have subscribed.
God, we have to support ourselves.
So we do have 2 phantom subscribers, and if you're listening, because you've subscribed, so you would have gotten a notification when we upload this,
Eventually.
then we appreciate you.
Yeah. We like you.
We
Thank you.
like you. Just like let us know in the comments, because I don't know where to look to see who you are, so that I can like call you out and say thanks, guys.
Send you a message and be like, yeah.
We'll send you a beer and a bag of biltong.
Oh,
Tell them what biltong is. Explain it.
Bolton.
Biltong.
How
It's
do
a
you-
South African delicacy. Even Buddy Velastro, the cake boss, he did an episode for a South African shop around the corner, and he built this cake for the South African cake. I can't remember what it was in it, but it was a South African cake.
Okay.
And there was a shop in Hoboken, baby, that sold like biltong. And he was like, oh my God, biltong, awesome. Okay, that totally wasn't a New York accent, but he was like,
That's so bad.
I want a cup of coffee. I'm walking here eating biltong. I don't know. That sounded New York, yeah?
Get
You
it,
mess
man.
with one of us, you mess with all of us.
Oh, you sound like Boston. From Boston.
Hey, are you a knock? Are you not a knock? I think Boston guys would be a lot of fun. Those guys,
Oh,
I think they seem closest to like Joe Big Okies.
They really do. They really do. And they like their drink.
They like
Yeah,
to have
the
a dog,
bar, yeah.
maybe a bit of a box here and there, and
Then we
yeah.
go home. Then
Yeah.
it's all good. Then we
I
go
think,
back
I
home.
think I'd get on well with guys in Boston.
The funny thing is in Seattle, there is so many South Africans. Though.
Really?
There's so many South African shops, and no one has biltong because everyone is like, "Oh my fuck, it's biltong!"
Well, in
And
Seattle,
everyone just buys biltong.
in Seattle, since they've fucking obliterated 60% of the businesses, I don't even think you can get Simba chips anymore. So you can sit there and you just hear all the South African accents like, hey man, kan ek 'n bietjie heroin daar hê, please, asseblief tog.
Ek soek 'n Simba
Ek wil
chippie.
kakkies op die straat. Yeah. Joe Biden wanted to be president. I just wanted to be a Simba chippy.
No, it's not Seattle, man. It's San Francisco. Sorry.
It's a bit further down.
Yeah, that's way other side. No, sorry, it's not Seattle.
It's all the same
San
shit to
Francisco.
me. It's all the same. It's California, eh? San Francisco is California.
No.
San Francisco is the one with the big bridge.
Yeah, it's in.
The
Is
Golden Gate
Yeah.
Bridge, right? That's the one of the biggest bridge with the trams. They're
Yeah.
called trams.
And
They're
the
like
steep
little
hills.
trains that run in the road and the steep hills.
Yeah. And Seattle's in Washington, which is higher north.
And Seattle is the Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
It's that funny shaped building.
Yeah, it's up there. On the,
That's all I know it from. Funny
West.
shaped building in a hospital.
probably doesn't.
Everybody fucked each other in the hospital. It was good for like 2 seasons. Don't tell anyone I watched it.
Yeah, Seattle is in Washington, and yeah.
Is California on that side?
Yeah, here's California.
Oh my
It's
god,
on
I
the
always
west
thought it
coast.
was on the total other side.
Yeah, and then I'm showing him a map.
Oh, we're looking at a map. There's Chicago. That we're not
Yeah.
going there. Not going.
No, you'll get shot.
I love Chicago.
Really?
Chicago is so cool.
I liked Watch Dogs, and it was in Chicago.
Chicago's the people there. I mean, you must just know where not to go. It's like here, but
Yeah.
the people are so cool, and the bars, and everyone just wants to fucking party. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
And then yeah,
Okay.
here's Florida.
That's where I want to go. That's Ron DeSantis, right? He's Florida. Yeah, Ron DeSantis.
Yeah.
He's like in charge of the Gators in Disneyland.
There's Texas.
And here's
There's
Texas.
Austin. There's Texas. Okay, Texas. And where's
There's El Paso.
El Paso? Okay, so where's New Mexico?
Isn't it on the left? Next to Texas.
There's
isn't
New
it?
Mexico. Right
There's
there.
New Mexico. Oh, New Mexico's a
It's
state.
a state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know New Mexico is a state? I thought it was a town.
No, it's a state.
Albuquerque is,
Albuquerque.
is the town.
Apparently there's hot dogs and jumping frogs there.
Oh,
You know, we're not going to get our green cards unless we can say all of these off by heart, eh?
No.
I'm pretty sure Americans don't know them off by
They
heart.
don't know them off by heart. I've seen interviews, but you do. It's not that hard.
Yeah. I
It's
suppose.
really not.
Well, I mean,
You
Californians.
have to be able to answer some questions. And
Californians actually left work, stood in a queue to keep Gavin Newsom. So I don't suppose they'd be able to remember all of their states.
No, it was in Seattle. Seattle's the one with the most South Africans.
Where?
Seattle.
That's up there. What's that?
This is Washington.
Is that Washington?
That's Washington.
That's right up there by Canada.
Canada,
Is
eh?
that Grey Patch there, Canada?
Yeah. This
We
is
blame them,
Canada.
It's a faster squad. It's a squash. That fucking place where all the French oaks.
Saskatchewan.
There's a Sacagawea. Fucking Sacagawea.
I lived right here, near Detroit, in Michigan.
Detroit.
That's
On
where-
8 Mile.
That's where Eminem's from.
Yeah, we were on the road. On 8 Mile Road.
Did you have a rap battle?
No, we did not have a rap battle. A South African with a bunch of Germans having a rap battle.
Yeah.
Could be fun.
I'm fucking Voos and I'm pussy Voos.
The outfit was there, ne?
Oh, God.
And everyone freaked out. I was like, oh my god, we need to go see them. I was like,
Yeah.
do you guys know
Oh,
what
yeah.
they're singing about?
You know, like what Zef means in South Africa. eh? Like we don't do Zef. That's why we've told them to fuck off.
That's what they went away.
Go get the fuck out of here. And off they go to America. Fatty boom boom.
Ching ching.
What was that movie? They did that movie. Chappie.
Chappie.
I don't know what happened to that guy. Neil Blomkamp. Blom Neil Camp.
That one.
That dude, Neil Blomkamp.
Yeah.
What happened to him? He was cool. I mean, District 9. I remember District 9 when they were. I remember reading in the Sunday. This is how long ago it was. The Sunday Times magazine. Remember, you used to get the little magazine.
Dude,
And I remember reading about it, and they're going all South African movie with aliens. I'm going, this is going to be
Yeah.
cock. This is going to be cock.
Yep, that was my thought also.
And then we went to watch it, and holy fuck balls, was it good? It was so good.
It
It
really
was
was.
so good.
And everyone is still
It
like...
was up for like best movie.
It got
And I was
awards and
like,
stuff.
and I was like, okay, maybe not best movie, but it was really
It
good.
was
And I think
good.
maybe because people in the States, it's so foreign.
It's very
I love it
foreign,
when you
like,
talk foreign. But it was just like so like different
Yes.
because of the accents
I
and
mean,
all of that
people
sort
are
of stuff.
still... People are still making comments from, we're still waiting.
I
Was it
think
9 years that he said, like, wait for me for 9
Yeah,
years?
he was. Yeah, Christopher.
I think they're
Oh.
making a new one. Well, I read something. That they want to make a second
But I
District
read.
Oh,
Just-
but I don't.
I
I don't
made
think
I
they
made a
must make
video.
it
I made a
now.
video. I made a video about it on my own channel. I made a video about it. I didn't get very nice comments about it. I might have gone to the wrong crowd, but it does sound like it's going to be work.
Oh no.
Because what he did said he was going to use the current political climate in America. And that gets me worried because the original District 9, the whole point of it was an allegory for racism. They live in townships. There's people
Yeah.
who really live like that. Now,
Yeah.
where they filmed that, it was an actual township.
It is an
We've
actual
got a
township,
a
yeah.
government sort of police task squad here called the Red Ants, and their job is to go and remove squatters or
Yes.
people who've taken over occupied land with these sort of tin shacks. So the Red Ants had been there the day before, removed all of those people. It's fucking horrific seeing what
It
they
is,
do. Hey?
yeah.
They take you, they
It's
throw
nuts.
you out, and it's really horrible. And then they came in with the full crew after. It's kind of predatory, eh?
Yeah.
They came in with the film crew afterwards, and they filmed all of this in a couple of days before they tore it all down. So when you're watching that stuff, that's
Yeah.
real. People really lived there like 2 days before they
Yes.
shot there. That's how people live.
Yeah.
But that's an allegory, obviously, for apartheid and
Yes.
how people and it did it really well, and it does
They
does
did,
get
they
the
did,
point home.
yeah.
But the point's been made now. So now to make it about the current situation,
Yeah,
in
no,
America, because the
that's-
current situation in America is false. It's false. What they're saying is false. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Joe Biden can come here because he can't make up his mind. Today, the greatest threat we face is climate change. Tomorrow, the greatest threat we face is white supremacy. The next day, the greatest threat we face is fucking Jamiroquai and the dudes on January 6th. Like those 8 dudes who like went and took a poo on freaking on AOC's desk. AOC sitting in a thing. I could hear them. They were going to kill me. And it's like, meanwhile, they were in a totally different building. It was like 8 dudes. None of them had a gun. Nobody got killed. Not because of them. There were people who died. But not because of them. They didn't burn anything down. Maybe the guy pooed on Nancy Pelosi's desk. Who wouldn't want to poo on Nancy Pelosi's desk? I'm like, I'm here. I need a poo. Here's the desk. I'm gonna live stream this. It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be legendary.
It's gonna be awesome. Okay, but that's the greatest threat to America. And then the next day we're back to climate change. So he doesn't fucking know. It changes from day to day.
He doesn't know where he is.
So when you're saying the current political climate, they keep going about how it's systemic. It's systemic. It's systemic. Meanwhile, the guys who are saying it are the system.
Yeah.
The school board comes out and says systemic racism. It's like, but you are the school board. You are the system. The president comes out and says systemic racism. Go, you are the federal government. You are the guy. He came out and said, I am the Democratic Party. He sounded so much like Palpatine when he did that in the not the first debates. The first debate was a mass debate. Because all three of them acted like dicks.
Yeah.
Donald Trump acted like a dick, and I normally like him, but he was a dick. Joe Biden was a dick. Yeah. And Chris Wallace, I think, who was actually from Fox, he was the mediator, and we all thought, oh, geez, they got a sort of conservative, and he was a dick.
No,
they're all dicks. And then they had the second one, which I thought went a little bit better. It went better. It was still, he still lied through his fucking teeth, but it was a little bit, I forgot where I was going with this.
We were talking about District 9 and about the political view.
I always keep going back to politics.
Yeah,
this might be a political.
This whole podcast has been politics.
I'm actually going to create a new category, because you can create playlists on the channel, and I'll have one for American politics, and I'll slap this in there, and anyone who's interested is cool. and that's that.
This is just a podcast. This is not a specific one. It's just we go wherever the wind blows.
I planned to talk about Shang-Chi. We were going to talk about Shang-Chi, but I see how far are we into this now?
We're already at an hour.
We've basically ran out of time. We just talked about the Met.
We didn't! We just mentioned it! And someone will edit up with District 9.
Oh, and the new one's going to suck. The new one's going to suck. The new one's going to suck. And then he made Elysium, which was a bigger budget, and then they used Americans. We did get a South African. I mean, can we call Charlize Theron a South African?
Yeah.
Because she speaks Afrikaans.
She can.
Yes, when she speaks Afrikaans, you're like, yeah, you didn't lose it there, bro.
Listen, when what challenges she that where she had to eat the hot wings.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, she threw in some beautiful words.
Like, we watched the one where she was talking. She watched the one where she was talking. She said she was on an aeroplane with her mom, and they were speaking Afrikaans. And they were talking about bleaching their anus or something like that. And this dude turned around, and it was in New York or somewhere where you wouldn't expect it. The guy started speaking Afrikaans. They were like, fuck.
Oh, sorry, man.
But then she switches to English. She even flies here and she switches to English. And it's like, have you lost it? Do you lose it?
Yeah. Yeah,
because I've got friends who've buggered off to Australia. Sorry, bad decision.
Oops.
But they've moved to Australia, and then they come back here and they're like, hey, crikey, mate, let's go have a fucking barbie. He goes a fucking bunch of kangaroos, mate.
But, dude, when I came back from America, you just met me and you were like,
Yo, you had
what the fuck is this American chick doing here?
No, it was but you hadn't fully transformed to the dark side. So she had this American accent, but every now and then a word would come out. So she'd be like, can I have a glass of water? So it was so weird. But
But the thing is, I worked so hard not to lose it. I'm not going to lose my accent. I'm not going to lose it. When I came back, I was a fucking jumble.
Is it? Do you think our accent is so weak? Because it's a weird accent. South African accent's weird. I hate listening. I don't know what it's like for people overseas listening.
They love it.
I hate it.
They love it.
You know, okay. Maybe because we get fake South African accents all the time.
Yeah.
So we had Nadine and Uncharted 4. Fuck that accent. It was I know it's not an easy accent to put on, but fuck off.
Jeez,
and then we had my favorite movie of all time is freaking Lethal Weapon 2.
Oh,
Diplomatic immunity. You're like, that is the worst South African accent of all time.
But one of the funniest things I must say.
You know Rebel Wilson? Sorry, Rebel.
Yeah.
She used to be chunky, now she's skinny, Australian
Yeah.
chick.
Yes,
She
she
did a
knows
movie,
Afrikaans.
and it was a cuck movie. It was a horrible movie. It was a remake of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Fuck knows what it's called. But I watched this clip, and in this clip, basically, there are two chicks who swindle people out of it, and this other dude's in on it. So what he does is he comes up with these totally insane situations, and they've got to now act it out. So he's like, oh, this is so-and-so, and she's from South Africa, and she specializes in endangered species. I can't remember.
Okay, yeah.
And she's like, you can just see her face, and now she's like, okay, and she whips the South African accent out, but fuck, she nails it, dude. And it's probably because she grew up in Australia, so she probably came here to watch
not
Lang
just-
rugby,
Yeah.
because
But not
rugby's a
just
real
that,
sport.
She actually can speak Afrikaans. There was an interview of her where she's speaking Afrikaans. She learned Afrikaans.
Rarig.
Ja,
Hoekom?
rarig. Want sy wil.
Van wat?
Fok weet.
Jong.
But what about that other actress in Lucifer that plays the demon?
I don't know. I haven't
Um,
seen it yet. Is it good? I read a little bit of comic.
Everyone is raving about it.
It's
but
based on Neil Gaiman, isn't it? Somehow related to Sandman, isn't it? It's like Neil Gaiman made Sandman, and I think Satan was a character in Sandman.
I'm not quite sure. But anyway, I just want to tell before you rant on again
Sorry.
something else. They told this actress she must speak like a demon. And she's like, how the fuck do you speak like a demon? And it's like, action! So she started talking Afrikaans. It's like, yo, massa, poes gaan jy nou fucking in. She spoke Afrikaans just the whole time. And it was like, yeah, excellent!
And the German is sitting on the couch like,
But that chick's from Cape Town, I think, isn't she?
Yeah, she's a KP.
yes, see.
It was so fun. It's like, oh, okay, well.
Isn't there a couple of South Africans in that other show? They got that show, 90 Day Fiancé,
Oh,
where they like hook up, I don't know, they hook up online and then they import sort of their hookup, and they've got 90 days to decide if you're going to marry them.
yeah.
And I think there's two South Africans. The one dude name is Sinjin. And he reminds me so much of our mate from work that drinks a lot, that we were talking about earlier.
does.
Because all he does is go on the piss. So he's married this girl there, and he works in a pub, and then he just wants to go on the piss.
But
And I'm
she
like,
had-
don't marry a South African if you can't handle him going on the piss.
But he's also from Cape Town, eh? Jy weet mos. And she had to come get him.
Yeah.
She came here. I mean, she's like, come on, bro.
But she came here. I mean, she came here, and then she stayed with his family,
Yeah.
and they all got pissed. And then the mom was like, hey, you must know, if you marry a South African butty, he's going to adopt, Chana. Oh, man. That was good fun. I wonder if they're still together.
I don't know. I haven't.
You know,
checked
once you
it.
get over it, once you realize, I mean, okay, there's two things that has to happen. One, just calm down with the dog.
Yeah, just
You
relax.
can't go on the piss all the
No.
time. You're married now. You've got to spend some time with the
Yes.
missus. So tone it down. Maybe don't get so snot-faced that you
Yeah.
vomit and pass out and get into fist fights and all that. So you do have to mature a little
Yes.
bit and grow up. But then, you know, so it does, if you can stick it out, you like with me and my missus now, we get to a point where she knows I like to have a dop, but then I don't take it too far either.
Yeah.
I don't ever dop during the week. I don't drink. A dop is a drink for anyone who's not South African. So I don't come home after work and crack a drink.
Yeah.
I never drink during the week. Like here, when we record the podcast, I'll have 3 or 4 beers.
Yes.
If I really go on a big party, we go to a braai.
When we know, yeah.
When we know, okay, we have the year-end function where I go boss, I go
Yeah.
nuts, but the wife doesn't come with, so I let my hair down. But if we go big, we'll go to a braai and 8 beers, and that's
Yes.
like a big night for me. That's where I go.
When you
So
go
you calm down.
Yeah.
So Sinjin, dude, China, if you happen to stumble across this podcast somehow, just
down.
calm down, but
It's
just
okay.
take it easy, China. Take
The
it chill.
drunk is not going to go away, right?
Yeah.
You will find it.
We're just saying shout outs to everyone because this is totally going to get lost in the algorithm.
Yeah, this is just.
I think the only
gone.
time anyone is ever going to listen to this is when I'm playing it in the car, dropping my kids
No.
off to school, and my kids are
Someone-
going to be like, Dad, you swear too much.
There's someone 4 o'clock in the morning that can't sleep, that's high as all hell. It's like, oh, what is this?
I wonder what this is. Oh, I regret that terribly. If you regret it, just leave a thumbs up anyway.
Yeah, just give us a thumbs up
If
if
you
you
liked
didn't
it,
like
thumbs
it.
up. If you didn't like it, thumbs up anyway.
Share it with a friend.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll enjoy it.
If you
Yeah.
thumbs down, listen, we understand. If you want a thumbs down or give us constructive criticism,
Yes.
just leave your address in the comments below.
We'll find
We
you.
will come and get you. So that was our rant this week, eh?
That was our rant.
So it was politics.
Yeah.
Really, we didn't even talk about Shang-Chi again.
No, not
Does
again.
somebody want to hear my news?
No, it's over an hour.
That's dick, dude. What's your news? Give me a news.
No, give us your news.
I watched Lord of the Rings 1 and 2. And I
No!
watched The Matrix 1 and 2.
Jeez!
No!
I did fuck all this week except watch movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Yay!
On Sunday till...
And were you very upset about Ian McKellen playing Gandalf?
No.
Exactly, that's what I'm telling you people. He was awesome, right?
Yeah.
What did you think of Lord of the Rings?
It was good.
It was good.
Okay.
No, I enjoyed it actually.
You loved it. It was the greatest story ever told. Have you read the book? Do you read books?
I do read books, but I haven't read those books.
Okay, I'm
But you still need to watch the final one, right?
Yeah. Although I think I'm glad I watched it now when I'm older than if I'd
So
watched
you
it when I was younger.
appreciate it more.
Yeah.
Okay. Watch the final one. Watch it.
Yeah, I'll watch it
The great
this
battle.
weekend or next week or something.
No, I want to watch
Nice. I'm gonna watch
it. Yay,
it also.
we're so proud of you.
Well done.
Yay.
The Matrix, you could have stopped at one though.
Yeah, the second
Yeah.
one I was like, what?
Yeah.
Don't even watch the third one, dude. I remember when they
Don't do
said,
it.
what was it? Reloaded was the second one, hey?
Yeah, then
And we were like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my, because the first one was the best. I came
Yeah,
out of the
the first
cinema
one had
like
a point.
fucking high chopping the air. I was like, I'm the one.
And the second one is just Agent Smith.
It's shit.
Yeah.
And the third one's even worse. And now they're
Watch it.
remaking it.
ugh,
Oh, well, oh.
just stop. Just stop.
It's John Wick. It's like John Wick, he's Neo, he doesn't know he's Neon. It's like, here, do you want pills again? And then some chick with blue hair like, I'm actually the one, fuck you. I mean, yeah, I mean really,
Yeah.
Loki chick, Loki, Loki, and like the chick Loki was the Loki. And then Indiana Jones now is gonna hand the hat off to a chick, and it's fucking Rey Skywalker now, and there's no masculinity. You keep calling masculine toxic, but
It's
if you
not.
remember, throughout history, the comic book base has been dudes.
Yeah.
Has been dudes.
Chicks wasn't interested in it back then.
It's dudes, and you
Sure.
can't even say it's toxic dudes because typically dudes who read comic books couldn't get girlfriends.
They were nerds.
Okay. I had to go to gym for a long time. Okay, and hide my comics under my bed and learn to be cool. And only once I got older and married and took the comics out from under the bed and said, fuck it, I'm just going to be who I'm going to be.
I'm a nerd.
But I did, I suppressed it for many years. But then I came out and I was like, I am free. So when you piss on those guys, they're not going to spend your product.
No.
And the people who paying it to aren't going to pay for your product.
No.
So,
Because even I'm mad about it. It's with Indiana Jones and everything. No.
well,
why
actually,
do
yeah, I
that?
mean, it's unfair to say the majority
Yeah.
but there's a hell of a lot of female comic fans. And you
Then-
could look at all the YouTube channels
Yeah.
out there that they're also pissed off.
Yeah.
They're also pissed off.
They're all mad.
And rightly so.
And it is, yeah. It's bullshit. I'm sorry.
We're
Create your
pissed
own
off. Sorry,
stories.
not they.
Yeah.
We're all pissed off because
all-
we're all
The
geeks.
nerd community. Us nerdies.
Nerd person menstruating and ejaculating combined.
The
are
life givers.
Slightly irritated with the current predicament within the literary foundations of comic books.
Yeah.
This beer is this is my
Is
third
it-
beer
is
now.
it- is it- is it-
See, it's- yeah.
I see the nose is getting red.
Is it? Like
I've been
Obelix.
keeping it up. It's like, ooh.
Like Obelix. I love it.
Oh,
I
Obelix.
do not make an adaptation of
No,
Asterix
no,
and
no, no,
Obelix
no,
if
no,
you're
no.
not going to give them French accents. The only one that's watchable is Asterix and Obelix in Britain.
Oh, that is so
Because they got
These
actual they
Romans
got
are crazy.
These Romans are crazy. It's the best, dude. It's an Obelix. So what happens is basically what happens is Asterix has got a cousin.
Oh no, I can't remember his name.
It'll come. It'll come to me. And he goes to France, which is Gaul, which is France. And he's like, listen, old chap, the Romans are invading Britain. Could you possibly, we've heard that you have some of the magic potion. Would you kindly bring it to my village so that we can fight the Romans? And he was like, yes, of course, we'll go.
Yeah,
Okay, it sounded German.
it was
So
close.
they get one big barrel, like a big keg barrel of magic potion, and off they fuck to the UK. And hijinks ensue. They lose the barrel, and somehow the barrel gets stuck in a winery, and they confiscate all of the wines. All the Romans are lined up, all the legionnaires, they're lined up, and they're like, right, with all the barrels, and they got to smash
wait.
the barrel, drink the cup, drink the wine.
But they need to taste it because they've heard that the magic potion is
So they got to test all the wine.
that's
They don't know
why
what's
need-
wine, and they
yeah.
don't know what's magic potion.
Yeah, that's what I had to drink.
Yeah.
I had to go through all those.
And then Obelix finds it, and
Yeah.
then they don't know which is, so Obelix starts drinking all the wine. And then he gets pissed. And it's the funniest scene you've ever seen in your life.
He
It
starts
is
barking at the. These Romans are crazy.
These Romans are crazy. Go watch Asterix in Britain.
Ooh, Romans.
Ooh, goody. When was that made?
Oh.
When was that made? Anyone who hasn't watched it, go Google it.
Oh,
Find a way to
guys.
watch it. Asterix in Britain.
It's
Oh.
so good. Yes.
Gossendian and Durzo, I believe, were the guys who wrote that, eh? Gossendian and Durzo. I might be bastardizing. That's how I've never heard it said. It's one of those things that I've only ever read. I used to read Asterix and Obelix.
1965.
The book.
Yeah, that's the book. So you're looking for the
That's 20 years older than I am. Wow.
Asterix and Britain film, 1986.
Okay, I was 3 years old.
Yes, that was so good. I want to watch it again. We have the whole DVD collection.
Really?
Yeah.
I think the other one, they did it, I think it might have been Asterix and Cleopatra with the French accents.
Yeah.
But there's nothing
Cleopatra
worse.
was the very first one.
Yeah, that was also a good book.
Yes.
But then they started reading. I know they did one with Brad Garrett, the tall dude from, he might be about your height, Heretic. The tall dude from Everybody Loves Raymond. With the deep voice.
Did he do a
He did
voice?
Obelix, and it was just,
Which one did
and
he
I
do
dig
the
him, eh?
voice?
He's cool.
I love that dude. He's so cool.
But
But
it was Obelix, and I was just
no.
like, yeah, look, you got to do the French accent
You
to
have
fuck
to.
off. And I couldn't watch it. I just can't watch it because to me, Obelix
At that
is a
accent.
big drunk
Yeah.
French dude,
Yeah.
and I like that. And
Yeah.
I
It's so
think that's a good note to close on.
Yeah. With Asterix and Obelix.
If you know a big fat drunk French guy, go give him a hug.
Give him some love.
If you know any South Africans in a town near you, go buy their biltong, give him a hug.
It's good.
If you see St. John, tell him to calm down.
Yeah. He's making a fool of
If
himself.
you've made it this far,
Thank you.
Wow.
you've got tough, thick skin.
And nothing better to do with your life.
Yeah. And that's it. So thanks,
That's it.
everyone.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week
See you
for
next week.
the Meridional Council.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.